This outfit is a look, but I'm not going to be wearing these because it's fall, but I'm not bound by the constraints of time. It's because I just can't see shit. This week we are talking about coming out and how we came out. So I came out on Facebook to everyone in my life at once. I did talk to my mom beforehand about how I was questioning my gender identity. I was a bit afraid, of course, because some people can surprise you with being unsupportive. I wasn't entirely sure how people would react, but I was fortunate enough to think that no one in my family is probably gonna have a serious, huge problem with it. Maybe they're gonna have a hard time accepting it, but they're not gonna wanna break contact with me. So I thought, well, the easiest way to just get this out to everyone and just get it over with, which is what I wanted to do, is to just make a post on Facebook, let people know, and then sort of just go from there. So what I did was I changed my name on Facebook, and then right after that I wrote a post, and I have the post right here, so I'm just gonna read it to you. This was March 9th, 2015. Yo everyone, you may notice my name is different. That's because it is. Wow, logic. The name I want to be referred to as is Emil. I was using a different name back then, but that doesn't matter. And my pronouns are he, him, his. I don't know how many of you have kept up with this or figured it out or whatever. Yeah, because I did post a video at the end of 2014 or the very beginning of 2015 where I talked about questioning my gender identity, and that was the very first video I posted on YouTube. I said my birth name in that video, so I deleted it, and now the hard drive that I have it on, it's an external hard drive and it's broken or something. I can't access the files, it doesn't work, so that video is unfortunately gone. But I was talking about just questioning my gender identity and not being sure, because I wanted to sort of spread the message that it's okay to be unsure and you can embrace your uncertainty. So a lot of people had seen that video and knew that I was questioning my gender identity, but I hadn't like asked to change my name or change my pronouns or anything back then. But yeah, let's go on with the post. Since then, I've come to the conclusion that I'm a transgender guy. For me, that means I'm going to go through a medical transition, including hormone treatment and top surgery. It will take about 1.5 years at least before I get to start on hormones, because you need to go through a bunch of therapy and tests first. It's vague, therapy and tests. I felt more liberated and comfortable with myself since I started identifying this way, and a lot of things from my past have started making sense. I honestly don't know how I didn't realize this earlier. I think this might even be the root of a lot of the anxiety I have. I know a lot of you know other transgender people, but for those of you who don't, or don't know you do, I want to say that you don't have to try to understand. Don't worry about that. Just accept. You know how when you meet a dog and you go, she's so cute, and the owner says, it's actually a boy, and you immediately go, oh, I'm sorry, I mean he's so cute. That's how easy it is. When we were kids and playing pretend, like if we were playing the Lion King and I was Simba and you were Zazu, we called each other by the names we'd chosen for the game. It's not confusing. I understand that you might slip up sometime, and if you do, you don't need to make a big deal out of it. Just correct yourself and carry on. I understand that there's an adjustment period, and just that you're trying will mean a lot to me. The only one I don't want knowing this is my grandmother. Oh yeah, I didn't remember this. So if you know her, please don't tell her. I love her very much and I don't want to lose her, and I'm not sure how she would react to this, and I don't want to risk anything. Since then, I've come out to her. I had my mom actually tell her, because I didn't want to tell her in person, because that was actually for her sake, because I wanted her to feel that she had the opportunity to react sort of however she felt that she needed to react without having to worry about my feelings since I was in the room. I don't know, she had a hard time adjusting to like a new name and stuff like that in the beginning, but she did tell me the first time she saw me after that that she would always be on my side. And since then she has started using my name and my pronouns and everything. She doesn't have an issue with it whatsoever, which is incredible, because she's, you know, she's from a different generation, all that stuff that you always say about people who are older, but she's really cool. Like, she's honestly a role model to me. Where was I? If anyone has a problem with this, or is not willing to accept me, please unfriend me right now. So yeah, parents, you have a son. Siblings, you have another brother. I have a bunch of half-siblings that are a lot older than me, so I didn't grow up with them, but yeah. If you have any questions about this, feel free to ask me. Some transgender people don't like to talk about the fact that they're trans, but I don't. I don't have a problem with it, is probably what I was trying to say. As long as you're respectful. I think it's important. Don't worry about sounding stupid or offensive. I will calmly tell you if you do. Believe me, there's probably a whole world of things you don't know or misunderstand about being trans, so if you're curious, don't hesitate. And for the record, I wouldn't choose this. Being transgender means a life of facing prejudice and danger, but I can't ignore it because it's the only way for me to be fully comfortable in my own skin. I didn't decide to be transgender, I didn't choose to become a dude, I realized that I was. Just like you can realize you really love Oreos. Maybe you haven't eaten Oreos your whole life, you weren't raised to be an Oreo person, but then you ate an Oreo and you were like, holy shit, this cookie. And now you want to join the Oreo company and be there for the rest of your life because you just feel in your heart that Oreos are your destiny and you wish you'd always known about them. So yeah, that's what I wrote. And then I wrote a small translation in Swedish. I have a lot of English speaking people on my Facebook and the translation feature is crap, so I read a lot of my posts in English. I really tried to incorporate like how I identify, how I want people to refer to me, and like what people can do if they want to ask me a question or anything. The basic stuff like that so that people understand, because I know that I had a lot of people in my life that if I said that I was just trans and I wanted to be referred to by this name and these pronouns, they maybe wouldn't really understand what that really entailed. I wanted to explain to them what was gonna happen just so that they could feel sort of safe in knowing sort of what was gonna happen, and I don't know, it just felt like the best thing to do for me and for my life, and because I was comfortable with that. I think when you come out, something that's important is to not do anything that you're entirely completely uncomfortable with, but I think it can also be really good and productive to try to meet people halfway. Try to recognize that, you know, it can be hard for other people. It's never gonna be as hard for them as it is for you, but they still have feelings. And I wrote this in an ask that I replied to on Tumblr, that other people have feelings and feelings don't always adhere to what is 100% politically correct. So even though technically it shouldn't be more difficult for them than it is for you, and it isn't, it's not always productive to tell people that, especially not if they're like your parents or your siblings. I think that it can make them feel safer and more cared about or something if you acknowledge that this can be hard for them, but that this is important to you, you know? Trying to just meet people halfway without putting yourself aside and ignoring your own feelings, I think that's good. Trying to just find a balance. If you think about it a little bit beforehand, I think that it is possible. Try to think about the boundaries that you have, what questions that you're willing to answer, and if there's anything that you're like unsure about or anything that you don't want to answer, you can just tell people when you come out. You can ask me questions about this, but I'm not yet comfortable talking about this because it's very private, or, you know, because whatever. Try to meet people halfway. That's not always gonna work, because with some people, I guess you just have to be really assertive and stand your ground until they realize, well, you're not faking, this isn't a face. For some people it just takes time. My cats are playing. I think a really good way to come out overall is to write a letter or an email or a Facebook post, because then people get the chance to read it and sort of react to and process it by themselves in the beginning and formulate whatever questions or response that they may have. So if they are inclined to be shocked or to be maybe a bit sad or upset, they can process those feelings by themselves, and they then come to you and talk about it when they're a bit more collected. Everyone's not going to do that, but that at least gives them a chance, and it saves you the trouble of having to formulate those words face to face, which can be hard. You can get off track and people can interrupt you and stuff like that. So writing a letter can be really good to just say everything that you want to say and then take the conversation from there. But of course, some people are really gonna appreciate if you come out to them face to face. It's all about the relationship that you have and the kind of person that they are and the kind of person that you are. You have to find your own way, and people can only offer you so much advice when it comes to what way is best for you to come out. Alright, that's the advice that I have to give. I hope you could take something from this video, even though I know that it's not much. If you haven't come out yet, that's totally okay too. Don't come out until, you know, if you feel that it's safe for you. That's very important. You're not a better person or more legit trans just because you've come out. That's not a thing. That's not a concept that exists. We come out when it's safe for us. We come out when we want to. We come out when we're ready. Sometimes we want to come out, but we don't feel like we can. We come out when the situation in life is right. Whoever you are, whatever you look like, wherever you are in the world and in your life, I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye.